Bam. So now we're actually live, and here we are again, back for another Moto Amino Presents. We have an interview with a motorcyclist. And today or tonight, we have Moto Mouse, who we're just gonna call Mouse. Correct? So what I want to do is as we usually start these off, I'm going to go ahead and allow you to introduce yourself. If you also have a YouTube or social media channel and you want people to know about it, you can go ahead and let them know that. Let us know what you ride and how long you've been riding, and we'll go from there.
So I'm Moto Mouse. Mouse for short. I just started. Got my bike. 10 Ninja Kawasaki 250. And for the month or so, I didn't start driving it until my bike was fixed. Just started up a YouTube channel, which is Moto Mouse.
Now, I put in the actual post that there's a AKA, and I wanted to see if anybody was actually going to go look for it to try to find it themselves. So,
oh, okay.
That was the whole purpose of me doing that, to see if they knew about it. So not yet,
okay.
But I'm gonna see. We got Irishman is in the actual live chat now, but I want to see who can actually tell us, in the live chat, what that AKA is without you and I telling them. Okay. We're not gonna tell them anything. So what I wanted to start asking is, I read a couple of the posts. I actually I saw your first video, and I even read your disclaimer before watching the video, so I did read the description. Yeah. And actually not bad. It's not bad at all. But before we get started into that, I wanted to ask you because you did mention one thing about you had to do some repairs. But what was the reason why you chose that particular bike?
Well, I originally was going to 300. The dealership sold it before I managed to grab it. And I saw it, and I thought it was going to be a really good starter bike. A lot more easier to control. Having the higher, it was a good starter bike.
Now, how tall are you?
I'm more like 5'5", 5'6", but I still have to kind of tippy toe on 250.
Okay. And the only reason why I ask is my wife has the exact same bike, same year, and unfortunately she's only 5'4". So even with thick sole boots, she's still on her tiptoes, and I'm in trouble already. I was supposed to hit lower the bike a long time ago, but I thought I was helping build up her confidence in riding, but it's either lower the bike or keep fighting and putting her at risk of feeling uncomfortable, and then when we're on the road, something happens. I don't want that to happen. But
that makes sense, though.
But you're at that height where when you're on it, you're on your tiptoes, but you're not too bad where you don't have any balance control.
Oh, when I'm on it, and still put my feet down to the point of having a balance with the bike. I feel like I'm gonna drop upright or on the side when I put it down on the kickstand.
Okay.
And it's a light enough bike that to forget to put the kickstand down, which happened once. I back up and I went to go put it down on it. The bike on the cement. That's good. I managed to pick it back up.
She did that. That was her second drop. forgot to put the kickstand down. That was
once. Grass, thankfully.
yeah, that's not bad. That is good.
It landed right at, it landed right on some
So that the now is yours a special edition?
What's that?
Is your bike a special edition version? Because I wasn't
special edition.
2010 special or that special edition on it.
I a special edition. I'm sure.
Because I know that they made a few, and a few of them had a certain paint design on them that were special edition. I wasn't sure if yours was one of those because of the color scheme that it has on it.
On the boost, I did pictures and right on the, it's got a black stripe going down, special edition on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is the fairings that makes it a special edition.
Okay.
But I've gone on the posts and seen special editions. It was really nice. It was red, tribal black, printed on the side.
Okay. See, my wife's, hers is total red one, all red all over.
Okay.
Same year.
One.
More miles than what yours has, though.
Because I was kind of surprised on how much it had and how much.
And it's, you know, yours right now, you have almost about 4,000 miles on it, right?
I have a few miles on it. It had just over 3,700 miles over it, and it just 800.
Okay. Let me see. Irish said his sister had the same situation about being on her bike with her toes, but she was at a traffic light and she lost her footing when she dropped her bike.
Oh, okay.
You know, my wife dropped hers negotiating a turn on an incline of a business hill, and as she turned around coming down the incline, she put the kickstand down but didn't realize how steep the incline was, and that thing, like I said, with her being on her tiptoes, it actually scared her a little bit more than usual, and she thought she was much further away from the ground with the kickstand, and she panicked and it fell, and unfortunately it fell on the back of her leg and her kneecap went into the concrete. She scratched up her shin, and I'd say she bruised her kneecap, not too bad, but it was bad enough for her that, you know, it didn't scare anymore. It just really angered her. It really pissed her off. It made her mad because she said she should have known that she should have known where she was and it wouldn't have fallen.
And same situation with me. When I went to go try down, I was when I went to go do it, and I almost dropped it. And after that, I had, and I didn't want. I just wanted to put it out for the day because that was during my practice days. Get my. But longest time driving around in my car, and yeah, it was a lot of stop and go. More practice with me with slowing down. I still have to do some more practice on pulling away away fast enough, but I'm also started this year.
Gotcha. What's so far? What's the furthest that you, if you think you can give it I'd say time instead of mileage. What's the furthest that you've ridden on your bike so far?
Up to Lansing to full throttle.
And that's about
Not
how
long
far?
ago, 30 minutes away.
Okay.
35. But
And
I had my first impression of people cutting me off.
yep,
Coming
get
off
used to that one.
zooming over and cuts me off. And you're really mad at him. So,
Were you going back roads, side roads, or regular road, or did you get on the interstate?
cutting in and out.
How did you travel? Did you travel on the road like a regular highway, byway, or is that area the interstate itself?
I took the then I got on an interstate.
Okay.
Uh,
How do you feel about riding on the interstate?
it was that you're cutting in and out. I'm sorry.
I said, how do you feel about riding on the interstate?
So far, I feel comfy. I definitely gotten used to looking in the mirrors, looking over my shoulder, and constantly checking the lanes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I also keep an eye on my speed because I want to keep up with my dad, but at the same time, because I've told him that he needs to get brighter indicators because it's hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
The first day, I want to go a day up a 14-mile drive. We're gonna take a turn. He kind of slammed on his brakes a little too fast of ABS, and I didn't want to slam on him. So I just had to.
So
I'm going down on.
and there's not too much of a big difference with riding on the road than riding on the interstate. But how do you feel? What do you feel is the biggest difference between the regular road and, because you just started riding just a few months back, what do you feel is the biggest difference between riding on the road and riding on the interstate for you as a beginner?
A lot more people, and a lot more people that you have to be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
What the thing for me, and I back roads, and there's not a lot of people on it. Mainly, it's just me and my dad going down a couple. But when it comes to difference or on it, and it makes me nervous a little
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know quite what they're gonna do, but it also gives me more practice to be more prevent.
Yeah. And your father's there with you a lot of the times when you're riding too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your father, he's there with you a lot when
Yeah.
you're riding. So the comfort level must be a lot better for you that he's there beside you.
I've actually never gone on the road on myself by myself. On the road with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot of the ways. I know the way to go to Lansing stuff, but the distance stuff, I'm not quite sure. The
Now, what about, this is another thing I want to ask you. Before you started riding, he was the one that taught you about riding? Your father taught you about riding, period? Did you go and take a MSF course before, or did you just do your driving test, period?
I took these before, but most of it was with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take another motorcycle class.
Okay. And was he a hard ass when he was training you, teaching you how to ride?
He was actually he laughed a lot when I stalled like, I don't know, 4 times trying to. But other than that, it was he was nice and calm about it.
I wasn't. I wasn't at all when I was teaching my wife. I was not. I don't know if that was the military in me or if it was just me being overprotective, but
Probably mature both.
I'm yeah. I made her do things over and over and over and over, repetitive, and sometimes she'd get frustrated, but I was just concerned that at the end of the day, my biggest thing is I didn't want her on the road without her being safe.
Mm-hmm.
And the safety part comes from your knowledge of riding, period, and what to do in a certain event that's never happened. But
yeah.
So I was big on that part. So I wasn't too nice. I wasn't too nice at all. Let's see.
I'd say the biggest that taught me and stuff. I'd say he learning riding a motorcycle a long time ago. He used to have a 2010, 2011 FJR 1300.
Mm-hmm.
That I want to. And I really that was back in 2010. I've just been in love with motorcycles.
Right.
But motovlogs, it when I first got my bike, it whatsoever. I was dreaming, and I nice to be able to have the cycle I ever had, and then not long after the 2002 was a TS 2.5. It needs quite a bit of work. But
We got Rocket Man is off the app too, and he's actually dropped in with Chad as well too. Rocket Man is out in another state right now. He lives here where I do in Georgia, and he's out in Iowa right now visiting family. They just came off a long ride too. The other thing I want to ask you though too is about I know you mentioned as well you grew up not here but somewhere else, and that is where your father is. Can you let people know where that is?
my father is, and I grew up years, but I was originally born in the USA. He's he's the one who likes to. He's practically into writing.
Gotcha. Because actually, there's certain words that you say that there's a small accent that comes out too.
I managed to keep some of my accent, but
Video bomb, video bomb.
I eat video bomb.
Huh? What did you say?
Like photo bomb.
Yeah, like I just made that up, like photo bomb, but video bomb. So, what would you say to any other persons who are starting out riding as advice? Because you know on the app, everybody always asks, what should I get as my first bike, so on and so forth. If you were able to stand up in front of a crowd of newcomers who want to start riding, what would you tell them as an advice setup for them to get ready to ride, or what they should choose, so on and so forth? Anything.
I'd say ride what makes you very comfortable. Bikes. I'd say 600 and down. I have a 250. 250 is perfect for me for now. Once you start learning properly and getting the gist of a higher CC, make sure gear that fits properly. It's not too loose at all. When you're testing out a bike, test out the gear with the bike so it's not tight. But what makes you comfortable?
Now, you've said something that I really don't normally hear too many people say, which was, I think, was great advice. The gear portion, but when you test out a bike, have your gear on as well too, to get a better fit for that bike. And to be honest with you, that's the first that I have ever heard anyone say that, and that's a pretty crucial thing. I never thought about that myself either. That's a great piece of advice.
Hard time trying to find jacket. All is way too big on me. The type of jacket I have is actually a Victory merge, but it's pretty it's tight. I didn't realize there is also a vest inside of the jacket that I can take out. So I took the vest out and it feels much more not very tight. All the other, even the small, it was too, and I actually grabbed one of the jackets. I got on the bike that I actually bought. I felt how the handlebars did the turning and stuff, and see how that felt.
Now, Chad just said too, which is great, on top of what you were saying, the research is key. You got to choose based on where you live, like either in the country or the city. And he said he chose pretty poorly with his DR 650 with no dirt country roads anywhere. So he has a dirt bike that has no dirt to ride on. And I think that is a pretty good thing to say, especially Canada, and it snows a lot.
Yeah. Michigan's got a lot of those, but yeah, really bad ones as well.
God, don't come to Michigan.
Yeah, don't come to Michigan.
I have been. I have been. I was stationed there when I first went in the military. I was in the Great Lakes, and it was not the best place to send somebody from the country. And I went in the wintertime.
Oh God, the winter is here. Australia and it's winter here, and come back in the summer.
Yeah.
At least get out of Michigan. What is she doing? I have leopard geckos, and my gecko is.
You got a gecko?
I actually have 4 of them.
What?
Yeah.
Got 4 purses running around your house? I mean, I don't want a reptile in my house. I mean, literally, I do not.
My house is practically a mini zoo. 4 cats, 3 dogs, fish, and a turtle, and 3 guinea pigs.
Wow. You got a frenzy of.
It's a mini petting zoo.
You got bacon. You got you got a lot in there right now.
Yeah.
Bacon.
No, guinea pigs.
Oh.
Yeah, the guinea pigs. We can fry them up a little. I don't think the legs would be big enough though. Like
No. Just skin and bone. I mean, that's a little bit souls, but
I mean,
wise.
being so mean to your animals already, and I don't even know them. Didn't even give a chance to know them. Yeah, just fry them up. Slice this one up. Make some gloves, a leather strap to go around your wrist. No, that's not fair.
No.
Fair. So, now if you're after you ride, because like we were talking, or like you stayed on your app, you started. Actually, it was strange. You got the bike, if I'm not mistaken, in February, right?
January.
So you purchased your bike in the month of January. Okay. And you guys had snow down at the time, didn't you? Wasn't it snowing?
Oh yeah, it was snowing. It was still snowing.
So how long do you
I
think
didn't
it'll
drive it home.
go ahead? You didn't drive it home? And you said too that you had to have some stuff done to your bike. What were the things you guys had to have done?
There was a hose, the gas, a hose that circulated the gas to the engine. There was a little tiny air hole.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't letting gas properly. I had the if I turned the choke off completely.
Uh-huh.
One of my carburetors wasn't wanting to work properly, so we had to get that fixed. When that was fixed, the person at the dealership forgot to turn on the valve to actually allow gas into
your carbs.
engine. We actually best buds with at Full Throttle in Lansing.
Uh-huh.
He was the one that dropped my bike off, and then I was testing it out when it came next day. He sat on. He heard it wasn't running properly. He reaches down and he turns the valve, and it works perfectly fine. So that, yeah, thank you. But we literally just got done fighting with the indicators not that long ago.
Uh-huh.
The seat, the coils, and the relay had moved a little, and it wasn't allowing my flash. And we were thinking, oh, it's good. It was the actual change them to LED strips. That didn't work. Different thing, and that didn't work. And it was like, really? And then we figured it was the relay.
Gotcha. So everyone starts on their starter bike, and usually their starter bike is something that becomes a great relationship. But like many relationships, they come to an end. So how long do you think before you upgrade or trade this one for something else?
I'm probably gonna upgrade either late next year after that, and I am trying to aim for a Yamaha R6.
Mm.
My problem is I sat on at the dealership. The seat was on the lowest setting with my height. Stand it up.
Mm.
It was literally on the tip of my toes.
So that definitely would need
Oh.
lowering links.
Yes. And things of the ninjas and I gotta try and figure things out.
Yeah. So you actually had some other people join our chat. So we got Rocky's Roads here as well. Steve-O is here waving hello. And they're really talking and real still stuck on Michigan. They haven't left Michigan yet. It's not cool.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Get very
It is.
cold.
I mean, the worst part of being there for me was December, and I left in May of the following year, but I was there in I went my first time. It was December, the month of December, and I was not dressed accordingly at all. We had to march from our barracks section to the galley to eat. And the worst thing was is snow on the ground, and when we got to the galley, we had to wait outside before we could go inside.
Oh,
So,
goodness.
and it really depended on how long we
The
waited.
wind gets you as well.
Oh yeah, the windshield, to a point where when it would sleet, that felt like across your skin. So we had to wear towels around our face with the ski mask and our regular hats on with pea coats on and the whole nine, just to try to stay warm. So I don't see how you guys do
You
it.
better behave. You.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
Somebody's getting reprimanded.
Yes. But
so what was the now we gotta know what the behavior part was.
he knows that I hate my picture taken. Or secretly taking a picture on Snapchat and sending me it. And he's giggling over here.
This is the time. Take it now, post it, and tell everybody that you did a live stream. Seriously, this is the right time. Wow, this is how you do it. So you think maybe the end of next year you might upgrade, and if you do, Yamaha R6. You got a color in mind?
This is really, really nice color that I actually saw at the dealership. It was yellow and black. 2016. But it's definitely got a big price tag.
Oh yes, you're right about that. You are right about that.
I really, really like the new look of the 2017 R6.
Yeah.
Really nice.
They kind of mimicked that one after the R1 finally. I used to ride a Yamaha R6 for a while until I upgraded and got the bike I have now. And the style and the look has been the same for a real long time. And so it's like that. It's about time that we did get at least a new look on it. But there was a while that some people were complaining about starting issues on the new 2017 R6, which I didn't hear a whole lot of it, but I just heard some people saying it was a delay start on it. That was it. You know, anything like really nasty, bad. It was just a delay on it, and finally she'd start up and it was fine. Oh, I got to ask you too. What have you named your bike?
I've got a couple names, and one of the ones that I pretty good one. They're what was it?
So how many names you got so far?
About four names so far that I still haven't figured out what a good one is. But
Unless you're gonna leave your bike with multiple personalities, you got to come down with at least one.
right.
You never know though. The 4-name deal could work out perfect. Like my daughter has, yeah, she has 4 names. I have 4 names for her. And it really depends on how she's acting. I mean, if she's like a bag of shit cakes, then she's a different name.
True.
And if
Like,
she's
I
really,
have 3 nicknames for me. I've not been called since, I'd say I was 3. I haven't.
my wife's father used to call her Lizard. And then he shortened it up to Lizzie and used to take her for rides all the time when she was, her mother said that she believed she was about 2, but he said she wasn't that young. She was 3 when he first started taking her for rides on his Harley back in the day. So she's been around bikes all her life. So it was real nice that it worked out that we ride together, or we like riding. But he used to call her Lizzie and used to use her to get females' phone numbers.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I just called him out. And it worked too. It worked as well too. But now, mind you, he was not married, he was single, so but it worked every time. They pull up to a diner or something on the bike, go inside, and next thing you know, you can get a phone number. She talked the lady into it and get it.
That's nice. That's
Co-conspirator. So you gotta I guess keep thinking about what name you're gonna leave on it. But the way it sounds, because you're still between 4 different names, you may not even name it 100%. You may have another bike.
Yeah, true. Some days she'll like to act up on me or give me sass or something.
Yeah, I remember that on mine. So how did you find the app? How did you get into the app itself on Moto Amino?
What's that?
How did you start using Moto Amino? How did you find out about it?
Actually found out.
That's funny. I was going to ask if you can push it to that one a little bit. Candle. Needy.
Yes, we're very needy. I started by motor blog by Dan. That no, it wasn't from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
One really introduced Amino to, and I just happened to watch the video, and I really, really like it.
What do you like the most about it?
How interactive people are, and like all the different categories of the bikes.
Mm-hmm.
watching how they are the next day and of how people act. And it's really nice to see a very big community so close that they're practically family, which technically bikers are family.
You know, the behind the scenes of the app itself is just ran by people like yourself. Nobody's in an office, nobody's in a cubicle, nothing. Everybody does everything that you see on the app from home.
I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool, though.
Yeah. So the graphic designs that you see that come up, those are done by a couple of people that are on the app as well. That Studio Fi Me that Waterloo does, she does that on the side herself. The post that people put, and you'll see it on the front page, that's done by a group of people as well. The new users that jump in, that's done by a group that'll greet them when they jump in as new users. All of it is done by us. I mean, just regular people who like motorcycles and love motorcycles. Now, we don't always get along like family. Or actually, we probably get along more like family than anybody else because we don't agree all the time. But I mean, it comes together, and we do it. I think we do it because we really like it. We just like what the app does. Have you tried to use any other apps out there based on motorcycles?
The only app that I know of that is actual motorcycles.
Okay. Now, if there was, now there's one called Rever. There's another called Where to Ride. And what it does is it supposedly shows you locations that people have placed on where they think good rides could be. There's a couple of more apps out. They do different things. But if there is something about Moto Amino at this time that you think could make it better, what would you suggest, if any?
I don't think I didn't mind that.
So we're doing pretty good?
Yeah. Doing really good. On everything, pretty much. Updates that you guys come out with. Like the newest one with the sidebar. It shows all the categories I like.
And the other thing too, I asked this. I tell everybody to give credit where I got it from. Mac Daddy Moto is on the app. I mean, he does the live streams for the app on Saturday nights. He came up with a question. So the question is kind of, it's not hard. It's not difficult. It's just one of those that you have to grit your teeth sometimes for certain people. If I had a blank check in my hand right now, blank check, written out to you, you can have this check to buy whatever motorcycle you want to buy, but the restriction is you can only buy one motorcycle. What would that bike be?
Hard one.
You don't have one?
The first one that came to my mind, I'd have to split it off either if I could choose R1 or the Kawasaki H2.
Wow. Now, I'm not getting on the H2. Not without better life insurance. Because, and that's only because I would probably do some stupid stuff. That's just probably what I'd do. I'd really want to see how fast she goes. And there are no areas to do that here. But That's a massive bike. I mean, you
It
know
is.
that the H2R comes with an actual supercharger built on it. So that means even more speed.
I'm not quite. I'm not the one for the speed.
Mm-hmm.
One for actually the look.
Okay.
The look of it is so intriguing. It's very interesting on how they actually made it to look like.
And it's
When I first saw it, it kind of looks
kind of looks futuristic.
yeah. It just came out. It looks like it just came out of a few.
Every time I saw it, I did think of anime.
Yeah,
I did think
yeah.
of anime. That's what I thought of. It has the most ugly exhaust I've ever seen though.
And I've
That
not actually seen the exhaust.
the canister on the back of it is humongous. I mean, when I say humongous, it is really huge. I don't know. It's almost 30 inches long by itself. It's a little over 30 inches long, but it's massive. It's just massive.
It now. Yeah, that doesn't look right.
So a lot of
If
people,
straight pipe was, I would straight
a
pipe
lot of people
it,
take
or
it right
straight
off
pipe
and put their own pipe on it.
it.
Like, it can be nice, it can be ugly, but it's just a huge pipe. I've just never seen exhaust so massive on a bike. But that's the stock version. A lot of people, when they purchase it, that's one of the first things on a lot of bikes they take right off anyway.
Right. There's like one particular modification to bikes. Absolutely, think is absolutely it's nasty. I think it's disgusting looking. It's where they extend the rear wheel car out. I think it's nasty looking. It was like earlier today when I came back from the town, the cars, there was a Suzuki that was pulling up. That's really nice. I only saw the frown and I saw the rear. I'm like, no, thank you. And
Yeah,
I wanted out of my sight.
we discussed that. We discussed that subject matter a lot on here.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of the guys, Twisted, says that it's a Suzuki thing too for a lot of people who own Suzukis, that they stretch them. And he has a way of saying it that I just can't mimic right now that makes it even better. But it's you got to have it extended. Now, some people do it for, they take their bike on the track, and that makes sense. If you do drag racing, that makes sense. You know, supposedly to help keep the front end down. Yeah, but it does take away a lot of aspects on. I'm laughing because Ghost Anime just said we could stretch a Vespa. I would like to see that, and I'm sticking with the color, powder blue. A powder blue Vespa with carbon fiber stickers on it with a stretch rear end on it. Yeah, I could see that not being a bike in my garage. Not at all. But I see some of them stretch it, and they can't go around corners. They can't turn well at all. The turning radius is totally gone on your bike when you do that.
And also, you have to take into consideration with the oil pan.
Yeah.
I saw a video. Lowered it. He turns out he's had to repair and 4 times.
I mean, after the second or third time, it was time to lift it back up.
Yeah,
So before we go, let me ask you 2 more questions, and one of those is, how important is gear to you? And if you were an advocate, would you be an advocate to be pro gear or advocate to be pro decision, pro choice?
Like, I go by the slogan, not for the show. Last thing, road rash all over my body. I don't find that. And gear, victory jacket. It's got padding in the shoulders and the elbows, but I also want to get padding. I got from Country Goodwill.
Okay.
California or something like that, and surprisingly enough, they are 3D for male, but they hurt on me.
Okay.
I don't really care if the gear doesn't really match.
So it's mainly safety for you more than anything about trying to look good. So would you advocate a rider's choice to wear gear, or that you would push to say you should wear gear? I think I delayed on that one.
Yeah.
All right, let me try it again. Would you advocate for a person to choose whether they want to or don't want to wear gear, or would you advocate for them to please wear gear? It did it again.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's storming pretty crazy.
Or is it?
The storm.
Only
So-
I would wear gear.
Okay.
The other person decision. Times for them, but safe. Concerned about the other rider if they wouldn't have gear.
Gotcha.
Or but it's all up to the other person's choice, not mine.
Good. Rocky's Road said that we have to get a new tire kit when we stretch your 300. I mean, your 250.
Oh no, no.
Stretch your 250, man. Lower it down to the ground. Get you a new wide tire on the back of it.
No.
Let you ride around Michigan like that. Go into Lansing like that. You're off the chain.
I'd say, son, you're willing to repair your bike a lot, go right ahead.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close it down. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk to you and let everybody on the app know more about you as well too. I'm looking forward to seeing some more videos once you get out there and get more comfortable riding.
And once I get an an adapter for my audio.
Okay. You got a GoPro style helmet? Helmet. You got a GoPro camera, or you got a different?
Can you go grab my helmet real quick? Please.
Because you can use like a Tascam as your audio if your camera doesn't have audio port on it. So we get more videos, we can watch you out there riding. And then too, I'm looking forward to seeing what you may upgrade to next.
Oh, the GoPro.
Oh,
Clip, whatever you call it. I don't have any of them yet. I gotta figure that out.
I got you.
But
It took me a while to figure out my actual audio. I asked so many different people. It depends. It just depends on how you have it set up and what you're trying to do. Different ways to do it though. It just turned into a headache.
oh yeah, yeah. Saw it when I watched the video because the first time, one bar on the GoPro. So I had it plugged in. It was charging a little. Dead, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not one bar, and I didn't want it to get. It gave me about it, but
Got you. Well, I got a couple of comments for you. Ghost Anime agrees with you about the choice should be the rider on their gear. Also, Ghost Anime also stated your dream catcher in the back, it needs a motorcycle wheelie instead of a horse.
yes, yeah.
And let's see what else we got. Rocky, he definitely wears gear. Slinky as well too. Slinky Moto. And Slinky said we could stretch a Grom. So you can get a Grom and have them stretch your Grom.
What's that? Oh, you're cutting it out.
You can stretch a Grom instead.
Grom.
Yeah.
Anyone.
All right, looks like that's about it for them. So again, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing us to have the conversation. Also, is there anything else that you'd like to say to anybody on the app or who watched the video as well too? Unless I'm...
What you like, have fun.
Got you. And that's what it's really about when we ride. I think it's about us having fun.
Riding is pretty, at least to me.
Now you can go ahead and tell them, since we're at the end of it, and they've probably been waiting in suspense because nobody knows. You can let them know what your AKA is. Your other name.
A lot of people, that's for sure. Originally on the Amino app in mouse, but that's my gaming one, so I'm like, I gotta make a new one.
Okay.
Moto mouse, and I'm mouse short.
I think Wretched was cool.
And then until I found out what it actually meant.
Do I dare ask? What does Wretched Mouse mean?
Wretched means puked, and so it basically means cute mouse.
Gotcha. I got you. Yeah, I think I changed the name too.
Yeah. I
All right, so we'll go ahead and sign off, ma'am. And again, thank you. And I said I'm looking forward to you actually upgrading to the next bike, and we see photos of that. Tell your father, if he doesn't mind, pop some photos under his actual profile too, so we can all check out his bike.
yeah. I'll have to get on.
Yep. Post anything, information or suggestions for other riders. Maybe just informative stuff. A lot of people watch it and read it.
I'd say. Sorry. I don't know what to say.
All right. So again, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk to you. It was great to meet you face to face, video to video, whatever. However we're supposed to
Really fun.
classify this. We're gonna see how these go for the app and see how interactive it is for a lot of people. And I want to try to get more of a new user base to come on as well too, to show what they have and probably just pass information on. That's really the biggest thing. You guys may have something that's going on with the state ambassador in Michigan that may be having a meet that would be cool to ride to, you and your father. Stuff like that is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's also March 25th. Detroit, Grand Rapids. It's in Grand Rapids, but I don't know where it's going to. Really, a lot of people are going to be attending. It's actually on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Now we actually have a Facebook page too for Moto Amino. And that's just it, Moto Amino, and you can comment on there as well too. So you might be able to pass on some stuff there for that particular meet.
Okay.
That wouldn't be bad. You could post stuff about your meet on there and on the app. So, ma'am, I want to say thank you for at least being patient and dealing with my connectivity tonight. I have no idea why it went so haywire, but I think it was fun. I think it was great. Learned a lot, other than the fact that you and my wife have the same bike and that you're a little taller than she is. So, and you're still tiptoeing on it. So now I definitely have to lower her bike, or I might come back on next week with a black eye. You never know. All right. So thank you again, and we'll talk to you again on the app, and I'll stay in contact with you because we might want to do something else later on.
Awesome.
All right, ma'am. Thank you. And everybody else, no problem. Everybody else, thanks for coming in, logging in, chatting with us as well too. You got Slinky Moto. Oh yeah. I forgot to say it as well too. We have an Instagram, we have a Twitter. So Slinky got me on that one. We do have Instagram. Post all your pictures that you want to as well there. Ghost Anime, thanks for showing up. As usual, Rocky's Roads for showing up because he always pops in. Always pops in. I appreciate it. And everyone else too as well. And we will see you next week because actually next week it's a toss-up. We might have to have a fight for who's going to be on next week's interview live. So I'm not going to say no names right now. We'll see how it goes. All right. Thanks again, ma'am. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.